My name is Amy Skye, and today I'd like to share with you my Liv On story around the passing of my mother, Sandy. So in January of 2011, my mother was diagnosed very unexpectedly, out of the blue, with stage 4 terminal cancer. And she was given a prognosis of 18 to 24 months to live. We didn't know at the time she would only have 11 months, but we decided to make the most of the time we had left together. And I got some great advice. The first piece of advice I got was from a doctor who counseled palliative patients. And she said to me that one of the things I wanted to make sure was that when I looked back on the time left I had with my mom, that I personally felt that I had done everything I wanted to do with and for my mom. So I wasn't looking back on that time with regret. And the second piece of advice I got was from a friend who said, Amy, I don't know how you and your family are going to deal with the coming months, but I know you, and I know you'll make something beautiful out of it. And that was a great idea. I didn't even know that you could make something beautiful out of something so challenging. And the third piece of advice was, well, is an intention I had for myself and for my mom. And we decided that however much time we had left together, we wanted to live each day with a sense of moving forward, with some hope, because we didn't know how long she had. So one of the first things my mom decided to do was to plan a trip. She was married to her second husband. She had 6 children and 16 grandchildren. And she decided to plan an amazing adventure and take us all to the Grand Canyon, Arizona, and Sedona. We really did have an amazing adventure. We got to spend a fantastic couple of weeks together, bonding, appreciating each other, feeling grateful, and creating new memories. So I took the advice of the palliative doctor to not have any regrets, and I got my mother's permission to explore some alternative therapies along with her chemotherapy. And I also carved out time from my other work, and I made sure, along with my sister, to be at every chemotherapy session, at every doctor's appointment, to really help her handle the burden of the healthcare decision. And together we looked into some complementary alternative therapies that again allowed my mother to live each day, to live each week with a sense of hope, with a sense of ownership of her illness, with a feeling that we were moving forward into the future, whose outcome we still didn't know for sure. And as life went on over those months, I took the advice from my friend to make something beautiful with my mom. And one of the things my mom and I had in common was writing. My mom was an author. She wrote articles. She got her PhD in educational psychology. She was a speaker. She was a broadcaster. And I knew that she had never published a couple of manuscripts that she had always wanted to have published. So together we set aside Fridays at 3 p.m. to create this book, Catching Sunbeams, which was a book of her unpublished poetry about parenting that she had created when we were growing up, when the 6 children were growing up. And again, it gave us something to look forward to create together. And unspoken between us was the desire to have the book published. Well, after her name, the dash was only her birth date. Also, this book was an amazing legacy for me and for my brothers and sisters to really connect with the inner thoughts and desires and emotions that my mom had when she was raising us. And it was also just a way for us and the people that maybe didn't know her so well to get to know her better and to stay in touch with her forever. Even though we've been told we might have a year or maybe 2, around month 10th of her illness, it became clear that she was really declining. And we all tried to have our last conversations with her. And she passed peacefully. And I won't say there was anything great about losing her so much sooner than we thought. And I will tell you that the passing was hard, and the mourning period after her passing was unbelievably painful. It was helped by the fact that I did feel that I didn't have any regrets about the amount of time I was able to spend with her, and that we were able to create some things of beauty together. But once she was gone, I think a lot of people they'll feel relief when the person is no longer in pain and suffering. And that's true for a little while. And then you have to deal with the enormity of what you lost. And so once again, I turned to art and music to help me deal with my feelings. And I decided to create a spiritual project with my mother. The last project we had done together was the book of her poetry. And I knew that one of the things that was so meaningful to her were both music and her Jewish faith. And I decided to create this CD of Jewish prayers and set contemporary and very beautiful and uplifting music to those prayers, including the prayer that is traditionally said at funerals called the Kaddish, which I wanted to create a melody to that a person could listen to every day, because the words of the Kaddish are actually about glorifying how beautiful life is. And I felt my mother with me every day as I was writing, every day as I was recording. I knew she was so proud of me, and so proud that we were giving meaning to her untimely passing by creating something beautiful that would help further other people's faith and belief. And that was a project that I did with my mom and I together, with her spirit, for her spirit. And time passed, and the pain was still there. And my friend Olivia Newton-John then had lost her sister. And she reached out to me one day and had asked me to help her write a song for her sister Rona's memorial. And we created a song, and the response was from her circle that everyone else was longing for more music and more words to help them understand and process the loss that they were going through. So Olivia and I got together and we invited our friend Beth Nielsen Chapman to create the CD Live On, and to really explore all of the aspects of grief that I'd been going through and Olivia had been going through and Beth had gone through after she had lost her husband, because we realized that grief is a lifelong partner and something that you have to learn to live with, to transform into hope, and ultimately to find meaning around. And for us and for me, I'll speak for myself, creating this CD of songs that I can offer to others as a gesture of compassion and empathy, that I am walking with them, that I know what it's like to live with, as we say in one of our songs, that stone in my pocket, that pain that never goes away. This has helped me to cope with my own loss, and also it's been another layer to dignify, to elevate my mother's loss, to give it meaning. I know as a writer and as a therapist and just as a caring person, she would love to know that her passing in some way was helping other people live with their loss. And she would be so happy to know the response that we're getting to this CD, as that people are finding in a myriad of ways of transforming the loss into meaning, and therefore into hope. And that is my hope for anyone that's watching this, that you can find a way to give meaning in whatever way that means to you and your loved one that you have lost, and to move forward, transform that stone in your pocket from a boulder into a pebble, and to live on.